Every so often, my father says to me, Trevor, you should probably get a haircut. I love this man to death. I'm not trying to add my dad, but I do think this has something to say about this generational gap and what it means for a man to have this majestic of a mop. And even though I know he means well, this has been happening a lot. Even though, and every time he brings it up, I just want to tell my father about this one time. You know what? I won't even bother. Except, this reminds me of when I used to work in the kitchen, and the manager was like, get a haircut, dude, because that was my nickname, dude. I didn't think that it was rude to kind of get in. Nobody wants shit fall into their food. I'm not stupid. I'm aware of where I would shed, which is why I would wear a cap on my head, but even so, it would come up now and again, and if I could just go back in time, I'd forget everything I just said. Except, this reminds me of when I was 10 years old, and on the playground, all the other kids would try to get a hold of my hair and rip it off, like reverse pin the tail. See, I guess it's not absurd to ask a boy of any age why he doesn't get a haircut, as if it's our fault that we get bullied. You see, I've been called every insult from the apex to the present. I've been called hippie, retarded, queer, and fat. And one time, when I went to a Denny's, the manager thought I was homeless and wanted to kick me out. All because of this. So maybe it's time I cleared up on some of these claims. While I understand I am mistaken for a woman from the back, I think that confirms to me I must have a great ass. And if this seems like a flag for my neurodivergence, that's true, but maybe I just want the world to know what kind of music I listen to. And I've been told that if I trim my hair, I would look thinner. That's also true. That I know. That would have been truer 50 pounds ago. And let me tell you something. If there's a boomer on some job's hiring board in the year of our Lord 2024 who looks at my crisp polo tucked into my slacks, notes my firm handshake and my eye contact, and decides not to hire me all because of this, then maybe what we should be talking about is the inability to adapt for those who condemned us to poverty in the first place, who decided not to hire me to save their supposed face. But Trevor, if you want the same job, then just cut your hair. Well, I thought this was America, where everything was fair. And look, I'm well aware I used to have more hair, but I'd say these Samson locks are handsome enough to get your attention, and I wish a motherfucker would step up with a pair of shears. I won't need a pair of my own to cut them down by a few years. Damn, Trev, you are so passionate. What's with all this aggression? It's because one time I was at a bar, writing some bars down, pretty much like the poem that you're listening to now. And this woman walks up to me with a 50-year-long grin, her silver hair pulled back in her handful of gin, and she comes up to me and she says, is it okay if I have a hug? I said, of course. And it's firm, warm, something I can sleep inside of. And when she pulls away, she looks at me and she says, you look just like my son. He would have been your age today. And this woman says everything that I've been trying to say. See, the biggest compliment I will get every now and then is how the genes I try my best to represent are so prominent, because I may have been conceived naturally, but this phenotype is immaculate. And every time I see the ghost with the curls on their head, I want to feel the same spirit moving through my own threads, and I want to hug her and tell her, how is heaven treating you? Everybody down here is jealous. They don't look as good as we do. And look, I'm well aware one day this has to go away, but for now, I just beg that you give me the grace to say that I like being told that I look like my mom. Is that going to be okay?